Roy here, and welcome back to another video. And in today's video I'm going to be going over my 2021 CSGO settings. Every single year I make a new one about just my updated CSGO settings. I really don't change my settings a whole lot year to year, just some small variations, and sometimes it changes throughout the year, but this is what it is as of 2021. As in every single CSGO settings video, I will have a link to my config down in the description. Before we hop into my settings, I'm going to show you one of the warm-up maps I use. Every time I stream, people always come in my stream and ask me what map this is. So yeah, this is the CSGO.Hub.com warm-up map, I guess you would call it. It's made by ACCEL. It's pretty popular, so it's not that hard to find. Just type in CSGO.Hub.com, and if you see a warm-up map made by ACCEL, it's more than likely the right one. It has your simple little aim bots that you could do right here. But one of the things I use every single time is shuffle. If you just shoot this, you can go into like a longer range aimbots with some like headshot angles, people moving around. This is probably one of my more favorite ways to warm up now. I still deathmatch a little bit, but a lot of people ask me how I warm up. I don't really warm up a ton. It's like 15-20 minutes max. So now let's hop into my settings. I'm going to start right here with the keyboard and mouse. One of the weird things I use is a toggle for crouch. It's something I've used since the beginning. I'm pretty used to it. I don't have a reason to change. Walking, I hold. My mouse sensitivity is 0.67 at 800 DPI and a 500 hertz polling rate. I just recently switched from the Logitech GPro wireless to the Logitech GPro wireless Superlight, so I actually had to lower my sense even more just because this mouse is insanely light and my old sense of 0.72 was high. So like I said, I'm using 0.67 at 800 DPI and a 500 hertz polling rate. My zoom sensitivity is at default on 1. I use raw input and I do not use mouse acceleration. There are the people that somehow use fucking arrow keys to move around. I just use WASD, normal shit. Shift to walk. My jump is space. I also have my scroll wheel down, bound to jump as well. So for my weapon keys, almost everything is default right here. I would hit 4 to pull up my HE. I use T to pull up my flashbang, X to pull up my smoke grenade, and Control to pull up my Molotov. My quick switch is set on Q, so if I'm ever just running around doing this, I'm pressing QQ. All that basic stuff. With Operation Broken Fang coming out about a month or so ago, CSGO actually added pings to the game. Pinging is really useful. I think a lot of people should start using it more just because the callouts are bad in general. You don't even really need callouts anymore. Let's just say he's cat. I'll call it he's cat and you can ping it if you want. Pinging is pretty useful and I would recommend just having it on in general because it just makes more precise callouts. And the final thing, if you're wondering, my push to talk, I use the mouse button at the top. I think that would be mouse 5. Now let's just hop into my HUD settings. Almost everything is default. I would say this might be changed a little bit. My HUD scale is at 0.85 and my alpha background is 0.50. I don't know. I think you can change it. I use a default HUD color. I don't do anything special with that. I just think it's really clean and easy to see. A question I swear to God I get asked every single fucking day is what my crosshair is. I change it all the time, but the crosshair I've been using the past couple days is this tiny little style 5 crosshair that's yellow. Sometimes I change the color. It's kind of nice. I think a lot of people would refer this to as the simple crosshair because I believe on aimbots it's his crosshair and he ends up using it a lot. It's a tiny little style 5 crosshair with a dot in the middle. It's pretty nice. I like it. But I mean, I change my crosshair all the fucking time, so I can guarantee you in even maybe like an hour it might be something different. All right, now on to the important shit, my video settings. CSGO has this glitch for me. I don't know if it happens to anybody else. My brightness always gets reset to like the minimum, even though I play on the max brightness of 130. I use color mode, computer monitor. Some people like using TV, but it looks too like black and white for me. I don't like it. I use 16:9, 1920, 1080, also known as native. Sometimes I use 1600, 900. It gives it a little bit of a fuzziness. It's basically the same res. You have seen me play on 16:10 sometimes, but every single time I switch to 16:10, it's just like a honeymoon phase and then I'm fucking terrible and I go back to 16:9. Now onto my video settings. I use my global shadow quality on very low, my model texture detail on low, my texture streaming, I have this enabled. I find I get better FPS. I'm pretty sure it's dependent like system to system. Effect detail on low and shader detail on very high. If you're wondering why I have all these things on low, CSGO is a game you want high FPS, but I do like my skins looking nice, so gotta have the shader detail on very high so your emeralds are sparkly, you know? Boost player contrast, I have that enabled. Multi-core rendering is enabled. Anti-aliasing mode, I have this turned off. Some people play on 2 times. I just have it completely off because I feel like it makes my game sharper and you do get better FPS when it's disabled. Texture filtering mode, a lot of people play on bilinear. I found that my game actually runs worse on bilinear, so I use this 2 times. And then FXAA anti-aliasing is also disabled. VSync is disabled, motion blur is disabled. My monitor is at Benq 240 hertz. I might upgrade to a 300 hertz soon. A lot of people are getting them now. And then I have Uber shaders enabled. Here's my audio settings. You can just look at them. Nothing really too crazy. I have my voice in-game volume turned to like 40%. These are the only things that are important, is your music volume. I have my main menu off. I have almost every single thing off except for my MVP volume, my 10-second warning volume, and my danger zone music. I have my danger zone music on 5%, so you barely hear it, but it's okay to have it on. It's danger zone. MVP volume, you don't really need it on because almost everyone has an obnoxious MVP soundtrack, including me, but I have it on 15% because sometimes I like hearing it. The only one that's important, realistically, if you're just playing this game strictly competitive, you want all these turned off, but please, people, start turning on 10-second warning volume. It tells you when there's 10 seconds left in the bomb, and for some reason, people have it turned off. So yeah, definitely turn this on. Don't have it too loud so you can still hear footsteps. 30% might be a little too loud, but honestly, just have it quiet, but you definitely want it on. So here are my view model commands. I actually have changed it from the past years. I like my new view model a lot. I'm just gonna zoom in on this. And like I said in the beginning of the video, all this stuff will be down in the description if you wanna copy and paste it, or if it's just easier for you to type in. It'll be all down in the description, just go check that out. All right, so there you go. There's my CSGO settings. I guess one final thing before I end the video, I'm using a Zowie GSR mousepad. Like I said before, the Logitech GPro Superlight and some Logitech, I don't know which one it is. I'll put it down in the description. I'm using some Logitech mechanical keyboard. All right, so there you go. There's my 2021 CSGO settings. I'm pretty sure I covered everything. Like I said, again, all this stuff will be down in the description. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.